Somebody leave this up here for me? Did you leave this up here for me? Okay. We're very excited to, be welcoming our players back to, fall camp today. We ended our summer conditioning program last week and gave the players 3 or 4 days off. So we're hopeful that they're excited about coming to camp. I'm sure they are. We've had a very good summer with our players. We have about an 8-week conditioning program that we feel like has gone very well. The conditioning test that we did, we're very satisfied with the results of, and we've had good participation with the freshmen in the summer workout. So we're excited about the opportunity to start camp. You always have some camp objectives that are important, I think, to having an outstanding football team. And even though you all would probably be more inclined to think who's going to play left tackle and who's going to be the backup quarterback is the most important thing. The most important thing to us, or as a coaching staff, is to get the intangibles in place so that we can get the kind of consistency and execution that you need to play winning football on a consistent basis. Things like discipline, focus, ability to execute and do your job, to finish, and have the work ethic and the championship intensity to see these things through on a consistent basis. We also need to establish leadership. We have team rules and values, principles and values of our team, and we have a critical mass of guys that buy into those things on our team. But I also think it's important that you have people on your team that understand the vision of what you're trying to accomplish and have the personality to affect other people to the vision. I always think that's very important to having the kind of leadership to affect some people who may need to be affected. The ultimate goal is that you play with a team full of guys that all are self-motivated and all have the kind of intangibles that they don't really need to be affected by somebody else. But we did not finish the season last year. So finishing the season to me is finishing games, plays, the season. All those things are still critical to establishing the right mental attitude for us to be successful. And the real challenge, I think, sometimes is being able to deal with success. People sort of look in the mirror and fall in love with themselves sometimes when they have a little bit of success, and that's not really what we need. We need to have a burning desire to improve, to get better, to play better football than we played a year ago, to help and support players, young players and less experienced players, so that they can develop to the point where they can play winning football on a consistent basis. So the practice schedule that we have, we do have a split practice, the first practice. Talked about this before in terms of we like to be able to take all the young players and at least for one practice be able to make sure we're teaching them, whether it's drills, fundamentals, and that they're going to get the reps and participation in that particular practice. So we split the squad and put all the young players on one practice. They get a little bit more time to prepare for that practice. They can actually view the varsity practice so that they see what they did and learn from that. That's always been something that we feel helps the freshmen get off to a little better start. So we're going to do that the first day, then we'll have our 4 days after that of just 1-a-days, which we're allowed, and then we will continue on a 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 schedule until school starts. When school starts on the 19th, we'll be into a 1-a-day schedule. Roster, which I know you're very encouraged about. As soon as I say that word, everybody kind of wakes up, and it's a joke, but We have 4 players on our team that violated some kind of team rule and policy and were not invited back on our team. I think you know who 2 of these players are. One left already, Prince Hall. Brandon Fanny will leave. We're hopeful that he'll be able to graduate before he leaves. Alonzo Lawrence and Pre-Year. These guys all did something. Doesn't make them bad people, but based on, and I told you before, you know, we have a demanding program here. But these guys didn't do what they were supposed to do, whether it's for academic reasons or whatever, and they're not going to be a part of the program. We had 4 guys, Cardwell, Kirschman, Hester, and Matchett, that will no longer participate for medical reasons. They have some medical issue that's going to keep them from being able to participate in the future. We have 2 players that transferred, and both of those players you reported on, Chris Jackson and Charlie Hickenbottom. So we have 3 potential guys as we pass out the roster today that will be pushed back to January in terms of them starting their college career, and all 3 of those players have been here this summer. When we give you the 105, there's still, in a couple of cases, guys have not completed everything they need to complete, and you have a 14-day window to complete some of that paperwork to get totally cleared by the NCAA and the clearinghouse. So there could be potential changes down the road is what I'm saying. But we will have our normal group of camp speakers that will be here starting today. Lisa Lemaster's here to talk to our players about public relations issues and how to present themselves and do a good job with you, the media, so that they represent themselves, their family, and the university in a first-class way. And we will have various speakers throughout camp, some be it motivational, some be it educational, and some be it relative to rules that all the players have to sort of live by, whether it has something to do with gambling or other behavioral issues. Questions?
Coach, I was just interested. You've I guess this is going on 40 years of some type of starting a camp, starting football. You've got graduate assistants who are now NFL head coaches. What's your attitude? What's your take going into any different than any other season?
Well, I think that when you're process oriented and you're driven to try to do things a certain way, and you believe that doing those things that way are going to help you have the best chance for that particular team to be successful, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference. I mean, every team has a little different personality, but at the same time, I think the principles and values that help any team be successful, which are a few of the things that I touched on before, whether it's work ethic, discipline, we're talking about basic will to be successful. How important it is to them, what the determination is, what the commitment is, what the accountability is to the principles and values that everybody buys into. I think those things are most important to get established. Now, I said this at SEC Media Day, not one player is going to make our team over the top, but one player can destroy our team by not doing what he's supposed to do, not buying in, not being able to be responsible to his own self-determination relative to what he needs to do to help our team and help himself be successful. So I don't think those things change a whole lot. I don't think what it takes to be successful changes a whole lot in your life relative to what's important to you and what you're committed to doing. So that part of it stays the same. Every team has needs. There's no perfect team. There's no perfect player. Every player has something that they need to work on to improve. Every player can improve. Every team has issues and problems on their team relative to personnel, whether it's lack of experience at certain positions or lack of depth at certain positions. And obviously we're going to take every player that we have, do the best we can to put them in the best roster spot so that they can develop to try to satisfy some of those issues on our team so that we can have the best depth to give us the best opportunity to be consistently successful throughout the season.